Hi friends, welcome. Today I want to challenge a dangerous assumption in modern church life. That if people are engaged in church activities, they must be disciples, followers of Jesus. And that's simply not true. Engagement and activity is not the same as discipleship. And in fact, if we're not careful, we can unintentionally create crowds of churchgoers who never become followers of Jesus. Dallas Willard once said, every church needs to be able to answer two questions. What is your plan for making disciples? And how is your plan working? Let that sink in. What's your church's plan? And more importantly, is it producing people who look like Jesus, true disciples? For many churches, the discipleship plan is really just a list of activities. Attend the Sunday service, serve on team, join a small group, tithe, maybe even go on a mission trip. And then you get the gold star because you've checked all the boxes. Congratulations, you're a disciple. But here's the problem. It's completely possible to do all of those things and not be transformed and not be a true disciple of Jesus. You can attend every service, lead a small group, volunteer every week, and still live a double life, still struggling with the same sins and problems, still never fully surrendered to the lordship of Jesus and obeying his commands. Jesus said, "These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me." That's in Matthew 15 and verse 8. When we define discipleship as church involvement and activities, even subconsciously, we end up creating disciples of our church, not disciples of Jesus. Yes, programs have their place. They can support the journey, but they are not the journey. Let me say it this way. If I want to go and buy flowers for my wife, it's not the same as loving her. Showing up in church isn't transformation. It isn't discipleship. Jesus isn't after your Sunday attendance. He's after your heart, your obedience, your whole life. True discipleship changes us from the inside out. In Romans 12 verse 2, Paul says, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Not be busy with religious activities. The truth is, disciples aren't made in programs. They're developed by other disciples. One life-on-life relationship at a time. One intentional walk with someone who says, like Paul, "Follow me as I follow Christ." Jesus didn't run a conference. He walked with 12 men for 3 years. He taught the crowds, yes, but discipled the few. And he called them to do the same. "Go and make disciples of all nations," he said, teaching them to obey everything I've commanded you. Discipleship isn't about how much you know. It's about how much you obey. If we truly want to develop disciples, we need to slow down. Discipleship takes patience, takes presence. It's not fast, it isn't flashy, and it can't be measured by attendance charts and event sign-ups. We need to spend a lot less time throwing big events for crowds and more time raising up a few trusted mentors and disciples who can walk with individuals. Disciples who make disciples. Paul's instruction to Timothy wasn't go start a youth group. It was entrust what you've learned to faithful people who will teach others also. That's in 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 2. Multiplication happens when ordinary people are empowered to disciple others. Real discipleship, it can be slow, it can be messy, It should be deep. It can't be mass-produced. Jesus said, I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you'll bear much fruit. Notice he didn't say, busy with programs. He said, remain in me. The fruit we're after, true lasting transformation and discipleship, only comes by abiding in Jesus and walking alongside others in obedience and relationship. It isn't about building followers of our brand or filling our buildings. It's about raising fruit-bearing disciples whose lives reflect the life of Christ. So let me ask you again, what's your plan for making disciples? And how's it working? Is it producing people who love Jesus, live like Jesus, and obey Jesus outside of the church walls? If not, maybe it's time to change the plan. Let go of the metrics that make us feel successful. Start walking with a few and believe that the fruit of your life will bear fruit in others. Because that's how Jesus did it. And that's how the world will be reached. Thank you for watching this video. If you want help getting started with disciple making in your context, or you're looking for a coach or a mentor, check out the links below, including our free disciple making guide. Let's go make disciples who make disciples until the whole world hears.